thing I want you to prove, because she wouldn't know that. I mean, she could prove reading, but I want you to prove dates with the calendar. Yeah.
No hip.
And
You can also put a hip.
I'm recording right now.
I'm in here at the Baby Lock Solaris. At the home page, I'm gonna first go and change the units to millimeters. I just like to work on millimeters because they are a little bit more accurate. And then also I want to make sure that my design will fit onto this 9.5 by 9.5 inch 240 millimeter hoop. So I'll select that as a display also. Well, then I'm gonna go to the embroidery screen, and I'll use one of these large letters. This is a really cool looking font in here. I will take the letter B for Baby Lock, set it on the screen, and I'm gonna resize it. I could resize the artwork later, but this is a cool feature in the machine that I can resize it proportionally with calculating stitches, and I can go down to 60% of the original size or up to 200 from the original. So now I have the letter resized. Then I will touch the little flower icon to trace the outline of that letter B. I leave the distance to 0, and I will save it onto the machine's memory. Tells me that I can find the save from the IQ Designer pattern list. Then I'm just touch the house key because I don't really need that letter anymore, and OK. Then at IQ Designer, I will go on to the stamps shapes key, and here's that same flower, and here are my letters. Actually, I've done it twice, and I will touch OK to get the shape. So now I have the outline. As a default, it comes as the satin stitch. I'd like to use the pretty candle wicking stitch, and let's pick up a little pink color also. We put the color in a bucket and apply. Then next thing, I'd like to add a little heart around it. So on the shapes, the second group has pretty hearts in here, and I pick up the first one in here. And it's a little bit too small at the moment, so it's still selected, so I can resize it, and I will make it approximately 165, and I'm gonna just stretch it out a little bit more so that it just will be a little bit, well, that's close enough, doesn't have to be exact, that will be good. And I maybe move it a little bit in here too, so it will be more centered over the letter. Then that's okay. So the letter's a bit, I could change the color on the letter a bit darker. Let me do that one, shows better. Let me pick up like a really dark color in here, so on the screen it shows better. And then I can apply that one there. Well, for this outline, I would like to then use one of these new 10 decorative stitches, one of them being hearts. And I'll pick up, okay, let me pick up a bit darker kind of a red on that one. That's okay. Put that on a bucket and apply that one for the outside of the heart. For the center, I will apply then, one in here, I'm gonna apply one of these new fills. There are 30 pretty fills, and the one I'd kind of like to use is the number 16 this time. And the color really doesn't matter. Let me kind of pick up a little purple, put it under the region pocket, and apply. So now I got my design. So let's see how that would look like. I go next, and the machine's gonna digitize the design, and I can see that, yeah, that looks pretty good. But I have options in here for changing on the settings. So first thing, I'm gonna turn the outline off because I'll have my outline already in here with the heart stitches, so I don't need the double outline on it. Other one I kind of like to play with a bit is the random shift in this case. So that looks like a little bit more lively looking heart when it has little wavy lines in there. I could also offset the design a bit, but this one doesn't really change so much in here. I'll leave that as it is. And then I'm gonna go in here and find my hearts, and these are 10 millimeters high. I'd like a little bit bigger heart, so let's make them 20 millimeters, which is a little bit less than an inch. So now I think I have a pretty bigger hearts in there. I could change the spacing and even the orientation, but I think that looks good. I could also change the settings of the candle wicking. If I zoom in here, I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to make them any bigger. Maybe I'll put them just a tad closer, maybe just a 0.5 millimeter between them, so a little bit closer together. And maybe I make it just the smallest possible size, the 3 millimeter size also. And I think I'm done with my design. I will touch set. Okay, so here's my design all ready to be embroidered, but it just says B. Let's add some text. So add, I'm gonna go to fonts this time. And I'm just gonna pick the block letters, doesn't really matter this time, I can change it later. And then I'm gonna take the capital F and change the medium size. And then I go for small letters, 4. And then I go back to capital letters. And for the. And then I put the return for the next line. And then we'll do for the love. For the love of sewing. So I just do for the love and put little dot and set. Well, I don't want it there. And it's also cropped at the moment. If I zoom in a bit in here, I see it's cropped. I'm gonna uncrop it. So I have 2 separate lines. I'll take the bottom one and I will move it down a bit. But that's a boring font. What we have in our Solaris, we can change the font in here. That's ways I just picked up the first font I had in here, block letters, but now I can play with the different fonts to see which one I would love. That I love.
That's
I
good.
like. So that looks pretty good in there. I think actually that's the one I really like for that one. Other things I can also change in here is the erase. So let's have a little smile for love. And then I'm gonna set that one. Gonna pick up the other lettering. Let's move it up a bit in here too. I could just drag it on the screen, but sometimes I may pick up other parts of the text, so I just use the arrow keys this time. And again, I'm gonna touch the text tool and then change the font on that too, because that's not a very pretty font. That's the font I think I'll use for this time. And I will make then a little bit of a frown and set. Let me zoom out 1 notch. Well, I will put this one in here, but it's a little bit in the wrong angle, so I will rotate it just ever so lightly. I can rotate it up even on the 0.1 degree increments. And then I'll move for the love in here too. Looks pretty good. Only thing I want to do is one more little thing in here. I'm gonna change the colors for the I could change one letter at a time, or if I select the 3 buttons in here, I can change the entire word to be one color. And then let's see the love in there, pick up the first letter, and I will change everything. Let's put the same color in there. So that looks pretty good. They are all in pieces at the moment. So I'm gonna group them together by selecting the select key, selecting all, touch OK, and group. And then if I want to save it in the machine's memory, I could save that one. Maybe I'll do that one. If I do embroidery, I'm ready to embroider my beautiful For the Love of Sewing with Baby Lock.